Welcome to UU News, our weekly flash segment where we talk about the latest and most fascinating current events happening across the universe. I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Sarah. For our first story, we have a theft in an Egyptian museum in Cairo, the oldest archaeological museum in the Middle East and home to over 170,000 ancient artifacts, suffered a devastating loss on September 9th, 2025, when a 3,000-year-old gold bracelet belonging to Pharaoh Amenemhotep vanished from its restoration lab. This delicate piece, adorned with a single lapis lazuli bead, was part of the 21st dynasty ruler's treasures unearthed in Tanis in 1940. It symbolized divine craftsmanship, blending gold's radiance with the stone's celestial blue. The theft occurred during preparations for a Rome exhibition, Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities acting swiftly but discreetly to safeguard the probe, delayed public announcement. Instead, they mobilized a nationwide dragnet. Photographs of the bracelet were dispatched to airports, seaports, and border crossings, a preemptive strike against the black market smuggling that has plagued Egypt's cultural heritage for decades. The bracelet was stolen from a safe by a trusted museum restoration specialist, selling it to a silver trader in Cairo's jewelry district for a mere 180,000 Egyptian pounds, which is equivalent to 3,700 US dollars. The trader resold it to a workshop where it was melted into modern jewelry for a slight profit. On September 18th, Egypt's Interior Ministry announced the arrest of 4 suspects and the recovery of illicit funds, but the bracelet was gone forever. The incident, revealed publicly on September 17th, sparked outrage on platforms like X, with Egyptians lamenting the betrayal of their heritage. Comparisons were drawn to past thefts like the 2010 loss of Van Gogh's poppy flowers. The loss of Amenemhotep's bracelet serves as a stark reminder: safeguarding history demands unyielding vigilance. It be your own people.
Mm-hmm. And I think although this is like a sensationalized or at least released situation where we kind of have the details and it was cleaned up nicely because they found the suspects, I think most people don't realize how often this really happens.
And how often it goes unchecked. I mean, think of all the
Absolutely.
things that we've lost that we just melted it down, and now,
Sure.
God knows who's wearing it.
Well, even in the article, they're mentioning the fact that they kind of kept it hush hush so that they could kind of get in there and
Right. Wise, very wise.
that is wise, but also it makes me wonder how often it happens and we just never hear about it because they don't catch the
Exactly.
people, right?
Exactly.
And like you said, it is from the inside. Like it was a trusted museum or artifact person who was authorized to handle the artifact or had
Right.
access to it.
They had access to this safe, and that's where they took it from.
I mean, a 3,700, is that what you said? 100? Ugh, that's nothing. It's literally priceless,
Chump
right?
change,
It is chump
definitely.
change. It is chump change. And they caught the people, and imagine like that's what you go down for. Like it's nothing. It's really nothing in terms of monetary value. So, yeah, it's kind of depressing.
I would not wanna be in a prison cell with that person because you just know that they're cursed.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's gotta be a curse involved here somewhere, like, for
No
just once,
doubt.
let there be a curse involved because
Yeah.
that would make me feel a little bit better about it, I think.
Yeah. You and I can cast the prep age curse after.
Would not wanna be housed with any of those 4 people, just saying.
Yeah, no, no. It seems like there's a pox or a plague involved there somewhere. Yeah.
Hopefully. What you got?
Okay, so my story this week is called Psychedelics Repair and Alter Far More Neurons Than Expected. And this one is a study coming out of or being reported out of University of Michigan News. A University of Michigan study published in Molecular Psychiatry challenges the long-held belief that psychedelic medicines primarily work by targeting neurons with serotonin 2A receptors, which are crucial for mood, perception, and cognitive functions. Led by Professor Omar Ahmed, the research demonstrates that psychedelics enhance connectivity across a wider range of brain cells, including those lacking these receptors, significantly broadening their therapeutic potential. The study focused on the retrosplenial cortex, a brain region vital for memory, spatial orientation, and future planning, which is notably devoid of serotonin 2A receptors, and among the first areas impaired in diseases like Alzheimer's or other degenerative diseases. Using advanced genetic techniques like CRISPR-Cas, researchers uncovered that neurons in this region exhibit robust neuroplasticity, forming more synapses following psychedelic treatment. This unexpected finding contradicts the assumption that only frontal cortex neurons with serotonin 2A receptors benefit from psychedelics, as previously thought in treatments for major depression. The team's revised model suggests psychedelics can enhance brain connectivity without requiring these receptors, potentially revolutionizing treatments for disorders like Alzheimer's and also PTSD, which involve retrosplenial cortex dysfunction. However, the findings also urge caution as psychedelics may affect unintended neurons, necessitating, of course, further research. Ahmed's lab is actively pursuing preclinical studies to test these implications for diseases like Alzheimer's, aiming to harness psychedelics to restore brain connections in neurodegenerative diseases. So that's very promising. And anytime there's psychedelic news, I'm on it.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, specifically in Canada, there is a lot of active research and also changes to legislation in the way that we use psychedelics to treat, depressive disorders, like the article stated, and things like PTSD or people with any kind of um, trauma-based experiences. Also, people who have addictions and whatnot. So I will say there's lots of work happening. A lot of stuff you can look up if you go to Maps Canada, the website. It's a really cool website and it can give you all the information. I'm not as up to date on the information available out of the United States. I try to keep up with everything, but in Canada, we're doing some work. So I found this article really interesting because we could all benefit,
We
maybe.
could. And I don't know what your beliefs are, but I believe that, for every problem, there is a solution and it's provided by nature.
Amen.
And especially I mean, there's not a soul walking this earth, especially post COVID, that doesn't have some type of PTSD or some type of mental struggle, whether
For
that be
sure.
anxiety, depression. We've all dealt with it at some point.
For sure.
And I would love to see more research on that because so many people are distrusting of pharmaceuticals on that matter. So,
Mhm.
but the mental health crisis,
Mm.
it is just that.
Mhm.
And there's a solution for it, but we have to be willing to consider it.
Yeah, and coming from a medical background, the potential for help in neurodegenerative diseases is really exciting because those
Yes.
diseases in particular are ones that seem to be like the research just isn't able to keep up with or to bring real solutions. And I know that so many people are affected by them and any little bit helps. So,
Right.
yeah. So, that's my news article.
That's promising. That's
Yeah.
good to hear. That's great news.
Yes, the mushrooms are your friends.
They are. The fungus among us.
Yes.
That's gonna do it for our news this week.
And if you have an interesting story that you'd like to see us cover on our news segment, you can drop it in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Have a lovely week.
Bye.
Bye.